In MLB news, the first no-hitter of the 2024 Major League Baseball season belongs to Ronel Blanco, an Afro-Latino, after he led the Astros to a 10-0 win over the Toronto Blue Jays at Minute Maid Park. Blanco struck out 7 batters without allowing a single hit on 105 total pitches. The 30-year-old right-hander pulled off the feat in just his 8th career start. It's the 17th no-hitter in Astros history and the earliest no-hitter by date in MLB history. And in women's basketball news, last year's champions are out of the Final Four after Iowa took down LSU 94-87. LSU center Angel Reese said her team gave it everything they had. Sports at 14 and 44 minutes past each hour. I'm Morgan Wood on the Black Information Network.
I'm Bill Black with another Bet You Didn't Know music fact. All right, class, today let's talk about the song that got away. So this is New Edition. You know, Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, Mike, Johnny, Ralph. And they've given us hits throughout the years like If It Isn't Love, Candy Girl, and Can You Stand the Rain? Then there was the song that was written with New Edition in mind, but kind of got away. Let me explain. Let's take it back to 1985 in the movie Crush Groove, starring Blair Underwood, Sheila E., and a slew of rappers like LL Cool J, Run DMC, the Fat Boys, and even New Edition was in the movie. Producers Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis were asked to write a ballad for the love scene of the movie. But due to contract negotiations, New Edition's label would not allow them to record the song for the soundtrack. The song instead went to the Force MDs. The song, Tender Love. I'm Bill Black with another Bet You Didn't Know music fact on the Black Information Network.
Want to save money and reduce your carbon footprint? Try installing a solar water heater or using a solar battery to store excess energy during the day for use at night. Find more tips at #CleanSolar.
Entertainment news on the Black Information Network.
Well, music industry giants Pharrell Williams and Chad Hugo, known collectively as the Neptunes, are currently locked in a legal battle over the rights to their iconic name. The duo, responsible for several chart-topping hits, finds themselves at odds after Williams allegedly sought to control the Neptunes trademark without Hugo's consent. According to Billboard, the move has been described by Hugo's legal team as a violation of their long-standing agreement to share assets equally. Both parties have expressed their desire to prevent third-party control over the name, but the dispute is escalated to the courts to determine the rightful administration of the trademark. In better news, rapper Cash Doll and her boyfriend Tracy T have shared the joyful news of their baby's gender in a unique Easter-themed reveal. According to Hello Beautiful, the couple, who are expecting their second child, chose the festive holiday to announce that they will be welcoming a baby girl. In anticipation, Cash Doll posted on Instagram expressing her excitement and curiosity about whether her son, Cashton, would have a brother or sister. The reveal was made even more special as the Easter Bunny played a part in delivering the surprise. And finally, moviegoers are going ape over the new Godzilla King Kong movie. Godzilla Kong: The New Empire took in an estimated $80 million in its opening weekend to top the weekend box office. Last week's number one, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, earned $15.7 million in its second week and dropped to second. With the latest in entertainment at 17 and 47 minutes past each hour, I'm Bree Wood on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
This is a BIN Tech Report. Did you know that less than 3% of Black women hold a bachelor's degree in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, also known as STEM? A 2019 Indiana University study showed that for Black women looking to obtain STEM degrees, representation matters. NASA's headquarters were recently renamed after Mary W. Jackson, the first African-American female engineer in NASA in 1958. But 62 years later, we are still looking for more females with careers in STEM to highlight as role models. Women like Aisha Bowe, a former NASA employee herself. Bowe has created Lingo, a hands-on experience for kids to learn the fundamentals of hardware and software design. Due to women like Jackson and Bowe, young girls now have role models to look up to in STEM and will be more inclined to embark on STEM careers of their own. This is Keon Williams on the Black Information Network.
All the Black news you trust every 30 minutes on the Black Information Network. This is BIN on iHeartRadio.
I'm Doug Davis.
And I'm Esther Dillard on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Here are your top stories. She was their rock. A black mother of 8 and grandmother of 9 gunned down outside of her home in Milwaukee. We have the latest. A teenager has died during an online marketplace transaction. Police say it's better to do those in their presence. And the cousin of the late Emmett Till, the 14-year-old black teen from Chicago who was kidnapped, beaten, and brutally murdered in Mississippi by white supremacists in 1955, speaks out about Till's death. Reverend Wheeler Parker is one of the last people alive to witness the kidnapping of his cousin. He tells MSNBC a bit about what he still carries with him decades after his death.
I think the thing that affected me the most was shortly after he was taken, the way the Look magazine article portrayed him. That article was horrible. And it's amazing how you can portray people in such a way, and you do it for a long time, people start believing it.
Reverend Parker says he went on for 30 years thinking that's what Till deserved for allegedly whistling at a white woman. He said back then the story was a whole lot different than what we hear now.
In Virginia, Norfolk's NAACP wrapped up the organization's annual Criminal Justice Forum. Throughout the forum, panelists discussed the methods made to keep neighborhoods safe through a more equitable lens. Virginia U.S. Representative Bobby Scott, prison rights founder Hassan Shabazz, and others were in attendance.
The mayor of Hamilton County, Tennessee, and other elected officials are urging employees at Volkswagen's Chattanooga plant not to unionize. But State Representative Yusef Hakeem, who is black, has a different opinion, stating unions are meant to help working families.
When you look at reality, what unions do is protect the basic rights of workers and health care, employment, jobs, and wages, all of that. It's a part of the process.
The plant submitted a request to the National Labor Relations Board last month to hold a vote to join the UAW. This comes after a large majority of Volkswagen workers signed union cards in just 100 days.
Severe weather has taken a toll on parts of the Midwest with heavy rain, large hail, damaging wind gusts, and possibly tornadoes hitting the region in the early morning hours. In one Indiana county, a black woman was headed to work when the storms came through. Within seconds, monstrous winds and rain slammed into her, shattering all 4 of her car windows.
There's glass in my head, gravel in my head, whatever, and mud. There's still mud behind my ears. There's cotton in my car from somewhere. It's almost overstimulation of senses, like nothing I've ever experienced before.
She said she got the tornado warning on her phone, but didn't think anything of it. Needless to say, it was quite a shock.
Finally, there's good news for people looking for work. The number of job openings edged higher in February. The Labor Department says 88.8 million jobs were available on the last business day of the month. If you're on social media, you can always stay connected with the BIN. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Black Information Network, and join our conversation on X at Black Info Net. I'm Doug Davis, along with Esther Dillard on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Want to make a difference? African American patients only have a 25% chance of finding a bone marrow match. Make a difference and join the National Bone Marrow Registry at BeTheMatch.org. Again, that's BeTheMatch.org.
Black News in 30 minutes.
The Black Information Network.
This is BIN on iHeartRadio. Your money on the Black Information Network.
When it comes to money mistakes, financial advisors see them all. One key theme, overspending, tends to crop up, whether it be on homes, a college education, or even jewelry. One pair of clients, realizing how much they had spent in the past 18 months on jewelry, hundreds of dollars, even thousands, was in shock, said Barry Glassman, a certified financial planner and founder and president of Glassman Wealth Services in Vienna, Virginia. The following year, after meeting with Glassman, they pared down those outlays to about $8,800, which mostly went to jewelry repairs. When people see where their money's going, their behavior changes, he said. Glassman is a member of CNBC's Financial Advisory Council. The ultra-high net worth client spending is out of reach for most consumers, but the temptation to overspend can affect everyone, no matter their income. Extreme examples, most lottery winners go bankrupt, Glassman says. They feel like they've made it. They feel wealthy, he said, but they don't realize the difference between wealth and income. Money news at 24 and 54 past each hour. I'm Natasha Williams on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Black news from Black journalists.
The Black Information Network.
This is BIN on iHeartRadio.
I'm Esther Dillard.
And I'm Doug Davis on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
California raised its minimum wage for fast food workers to $20 an hour. Anisha Williams, who is Black, says that few extra dollars will go a long way.
I'm praying that this $20 will actually do something for me and my children.
Restaurant chains with more than 60 locations nationwide must now pay their California employees at least $20 an hour. But McDonald's franchise owner Jessica DeAmbre says it's going to take a toll on her business.
And I think people just don't realize that. They see this big McDonald's brand and just think, oh, they've got all the money in the world. And it's just, that's not at all how it is.
McDonald's, Chipotle, and Starbucks already are saying they plan to raise prices to offset the rising labor costs.
Black folks in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania are split on a new law that bans ski masks. NBC News reports lawmakers noted since 2021, gunmen wearing ski masks shot and killed people in 3 incidents. That's why some believe it will cut down on crime, but others say the masks help them feel safer. One Black resident told the network he feels the mask keeps him from being a victim of mistaken identity.
At least 2 crew members, an engineer and a conductor, had to be on board large freight trains. That's what U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg announced regarding a new rule on safety requirements to improve rail safety. Buttigieg says the new Biden-Harris administration rule will make workers, passengers, and communities safer. This comes 1 year after a train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio.
Finally, the Black author who has written a love song for Ricky Wilde says it's an adult fairy tale featuring time travel and the Harlem Renaissance. Tia Williams told NBC Washington her book has connected well with readers.
When my books are published, they're published as gifts to Black women first. Whoever else loves it, whoever else comes after them, that's amazing, but it's really, gifts for us.
You can pick up her book at Amazon or at your local bookstore.
I'm Esther Dillard, along with Doug Davis, on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network. Now here's your Washington Roundup.
The White House is outraged by an Israeli airstrike that killed 7 World Central Kitchen workers in Gaza. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby said the Biden administration expects a swift investigation into the incident and appropriate accountability.
This incident is emblematic of a larger problem and evidence of why distribution of aid in Gaza has been so challenging.
He said Israel must do more to protect aid workers on the Gaza Strip, adding that more than 200 humanitarian aid workers have been killed in the Israel-Hamas conflict. President Biden spoke with the organization's founder, Chef Jose Andres, and offered condolences and support. The aid workers were members of the D.C.-based nonprofit World Central Kitchen, which delivers meals to people in war zones and disaster areas. That's your Washington Roundup. I'm Morgan Wood on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
The Black Information Network. Stay informed at BINnews.com.
Follow us on Facebook at the Black Information Network and tell your smart device to play the Black Information Network on the iHeartRadio app.
I'm Bill Black with another Bet You Didn't Know music fact. Here's an oldie but goodie by Luther Vandross. It's a song that everybody loves, but I bet you didn't know this song was the inspiration for the movie House Party. Writer and director Reginald Hudlin explains.
I was packing to go back to college, and the radio was on, and the Luther Vandross song Bad Boy Having a Party was on. So as I'm packing, I'm like, wow, that could be a movie.
Reginald went on to write the movie House Party for New Line Cinemas, but I bet you didn't know who he originally had in mind to star in the movie.
So we developed the movie, and they actually had Will Smith under contract.
Will Smith's management declined the movie offer for House Party. He said he wanted to do a TV show or something. Wonder whatever happened to that guy. I'm Bill Black, and that's another Bet You Didn't Know music fact on the Black Information Network.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. A coalition of black businesses is calling for the defunding of the Illinois Community College Board. The group wants the board defunded until it meets the state-ordered 30% minority participation goals. At a recent public hearing in Chicago, representatives for colleges said they blame the system for preventing them from reaching their goals. But members of the coalition argued the schools are defensive because they don't like the criticism they've received. Sean Diddy Combs reportedly will not be invited to the Met Gala this year after his homes were raided by federal investigators. According to Radar Online, the embattled music mogul has been removed from the guest list for the May event in New York. A source claims that the industry has distanced itself away from Diddy while he combats accusations of sex trafficking. Diddy has denied the allegations. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
I'm Vanessa Tyler.
And I'm Mike Stevens on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
The black mother, whose 5-year-old son was found dead in a suitcase, made her court appearance in Indiana. And it was bizarre as soon as the judge asked her name.
Yes, I am Princess Califia Hatan Tupac II, representing the entity Dejon Anderson.
She's Dejon Anderson. She told an Indiana judge she has a master's in history and wants to represent herself. The case dates back to 2022 when 5-year-old Cairo Jordan was found in the woods in Indiana in a suitcase. Reportedly, there were social media posts where she thought her son was a 100-year-old demon. And on this day, she told the judge how she'd been under constant surveillance.
I also have a detail that follows me everywhere I go from Space Force military.
The murder trial is set for August. She is being held without bond.
It's Judgment Day, and black man Amarty Stotts is so sorry, but it's too late now.
I'm taking full responsibility for my behavior that day. And if I could take it all back, I would. I promise you I would.
He can't take back killing Dale Young last year. Young was a beloved black Milwaukee youth basketball coach and father. While making victim impact statements, Young's family told everybody in the Milwaukee courtroom what a great guy he was.
He does not deserve mercy, since he had no mercy for my baby.
The judge sentenced Stotts to 30 years, and when that's done, 12 years of supervised release.
Outrage in Ghana after a 63-year-old traditional high priest marries a 12-year-old girl. The girl is now under police protection. The legal age to marry in Ghana is 18. It was thought the practice was fading out, but UNICEF reports the West African nation has 2 million unions where the bride was a child. A statement from the office of the influential priest states the marriage was just ceremonial.
A large swath of the country is dealing with wicked weather, thunderstorms, tornadoes, hail, and there are even parts of New Hampshire bracing for significant amounts of snow. Forecasts of more than a foot there. But it was the twisters and the powerful wind that hit hard in places like Oklahoma.
And all the rain and everything, it was pretty scary.
The wind so powerful, one black woman was in her car when the windows blew out.
Gravel in my head. There's glass in my head, whatever. And mud, there's still mud behind my ears.
For more on these stories and international, national, state, and local news impacting the black community, listen to the Black Information Network on the iHeartRadio app or log on to BINnews.com. On social media, stay connected with the BIN on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Black Information Network and on X at BlackInfoNet. I'm Vanessa Tyler with Mike Stevens on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Certain types of cervical cancer are the most common cancers caused by human papillomavirus, or HPV, in women.
And certain throat and back of mouth cancers are the most common cancers caused by HPV in men.
For most people, HPV clears on its own, but for those who don't clear the virus, it can cause certain cancers. Not all cervical, throat, and back of mouth cancers are caused by HPV.
Gardasil 9, human papillomavirus, 9 is is a vaccine given to adults through age 45 that can help protect against certain diseases caused by HPV, including cervical, vaginal, vulvar, anal, and certain head and neck cancers, such as throat and back of mouth cancers and genital warts. Gardasil 9 doesn't protect everyone and does not treat cancer or HPV infection. These diseases may have many causes. Your doctor may recommend screening for certain HPV-related cancers.